Do you want this?
I think that you should have it.
Stuff in the back of the car ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so, amazing. Who are you?
I am Brendan White. I am a wrestling promoter running New Wave Wrestling shows. I run a wrestling training school, which is New Wave Wrestling Academy, and also I am a professional wrestler.
My name is Nathan Wyvern and I'm the owner of Cardiff Theatre Cafe and the general manager of New Wave Wrestling. New Wave Wrestling to me is more than anything a community of amazingly talented people, and yeah, they're celebrated here once a month at Cardiff Theatre Cafe with an epic show every single time, sells out every time, gets better and better every time. I cannot praise these guys enough. I'm really excited but also really sad there's going to be Brendan's last match at New Wave here today, but he set this up for other people. So I completely understand where he's going with this, and who knows, in time, you never know, anything can happen in New Wave.
Pay attention to the road.
My name's Chris Bevan and I run No Mercy Wrestling Event Production, and I am here to provide the wrestling ring for New Wave Wrestling tonight. If we weren't here building each other up, if we weren't here supporting each other, then the scene as a whole would fail. And that's the most important thing, is keeping the scene going for everyone. I think it's, as not just this show, just every show that New Wave put on, it's a wonderful example of putting newer, quote unquote, less experienced people in the ring with the more experienced people, to give them that opportunity to work with people like Michael Oku, like Wild Boar, like Mark Andrews, like Nico Angelo, and all of these other names that Brendan brings in. It's just a not huge opportunity for the younger, less experienced guys just to get in the ring with names like that, when most of the time they wouldn't get that opportunity elsewhere, you know.
Cardiff Theatre Cafe in St Andrews Church, and we are at the backstage area of New Wave Wrestling. What happens back here, this is where all the magic happens. This is where the monitor goes backstage, so we get people timing the matches, we got the wrestlers getting changed here, but there's a separate area for the women over there, but we have where wrestlers get changed, where the matches get put together, we have a medic here, we have a sports massage here as well, and this is where we normally kind of get the drinks and kind of chill out after the show, or during the show, watching it once our matches are done as well. So it's a cool community area backstage.
I think New Wave's great. New Wave's like, it was the first school I ever trained at, and it's where I made my debut. So yeah, I love New Wave. New Wave will always be home to me. Looking at like the show that's going on today is kind of like looking into what I want my future to be, because it's like there's so much legacy behind it. Like you can see all the, like leading up to today on Instagram, we could see videos of like Brendan and Hitch doing like backyard wrestling up in like a field in Evervale somewhere, and it's like, if they started there and got to where they are now, where they are running this show with like over 150 people, and it's like just from wrestling in that like field in Evervale, then I'm like, I hope I can get further with where I've started.
So I'm not retiring yet, I'm still too young for that. However, I can't deal with the stress of being a promoter and a wrestler at the same time. So I'm going to do my farewell swan song match tonight against my original trainer, and ultimately make sure that I transition to behind the scenes to make these shows about those who come after us. Favourite wrestlers in the New Wave period, just have a fucking good one, and LS you up an hour, okay? Cool. Then we have the New Wave women's belt on the line. It's Lucia Lee, the champ, against Ray Leverkusen versus Violet Knight, 15 minutes period.
Adrenaline's still high at the minute. It's one of them, like, there's always a buzz. There's always worry about your opponents being safe. And all I cared about was people I was wrestling safe. And just my adrenaline's on a high. Just, people are so positive. I'm just buzzing, really. You want to know who I am? Yeah! So for me, Brendan is one of the most positive people I've ever met. He has helped me so much in so many ways, whether it be through feedback, whether it be through giving me opportunities, whether it be times where I've nearly had a panic attack at training and he's took the time to sit down with me, calm me down, help me understand it, help me just help me feel better and help me understand that I can't do a million things at one time, and I'll have to have time for myself and not just keep myself busy all the time.
Coming out in front of the New Wave crowd is always such a pleasure. They always just give you so much. And, you know, seeing everyone on their feet at the end saying you deserve it, like, those things just don't get old. You know, I've been wrestling for 4 years, but that reaction will just never get old. So I feel great.
Brings you so much emotion through a battle, test of wits, test of strength. The way that a good guy overcomes a bad guy. When you see pinnacle of athleticism, ways to move about the ring, it's just a fantastic show of storytelling and athletics, and I love every single part of it. Because you have to train to be a professional wrestler, no doubt, and it gives you that accessibility to start off with. New Wave Academy is that light at the spark.
So the first experience of me doing wrestling, I was a backyard wrestler in the back gardens of the South Wales Valleys. Myself, Flash Morgan Webster, Wild Boar, all people that kind of work for WWE, we were wrestling in our back gardens when we were teenagers. So we built mattresses, we put wood on the mattresses, put tarp and carpet over it, and then we kind of taught ourselves how to take bumps and how to do moves with like our favourite wrestlers. To me, I think the 3 characteristics to make a good professional wrestler is fundamentals, making sure that your fundamentals are on point, which is your footwork, your ability to take a bump and land safely, and your ability to move around the ring in a safe and efficient way. I think having a personality, showing fire, showing out to an audience and connecting with an audience, because I feel like wrestlers who react to the audience, so the reactionary wrestlers, that's the word I'm looking for. Being a reactionary wrestler, in my opinion, is the best type of wrestler, because they don't plan a match, ignore the audience. They plan a match and work with the audience. And I think that's a key component too. And I think the last thing as well, more than anything else, is being in shape. I would never tell any wrestler at the training school to be in shape, because it's not my place to tell them, but to be successful in this and to make money in this, being in shape. You don't have to be thin or nothing like that. You don't have to be huge either. You don't have to be jacked either. You just have to be in shape for your sport. You have to be in shape for your profession. And I feel like it's one thing I don't preach enough to the New Wave lot, because I feel it's not my place to because they pay me to teach them wrestling, and that's what I'll do. And wrestling related cardio comes off teaching wrestling, and that's the thing that I want to do. But you can't ignore the fact that you have to look a certain way. Yes, it is a bit dangerous. It's very dangerous. However, it was something that we wanted to do, because any sport's dangerous. Football's dangerous, rugby's dangerous. We were just our own thing. We very much just beat our own drum, and we created a community back even when we were kids to now. And our federation, when we wrestled in the gardens, was called New Wave Wrestling, and as an adult now, it's still called New Wave Wrestling, because it's very much a personal thing and a community thing, which wrestling should be. Say less!
In wrestling, I'm kind of like this damaged, broken dancer that was kind of like thrown away from the dance world for being a bit too violent and a bit too crazy. And now the only way you can express his art is through wrestling, so kind of figuring that out. And then it's so giving to people who are willing, want to do it, and are willing to do the work for it. You get so many great opportunities. Like, I've wrestled some of the best in the world, to be honest. Like, I got to wrestle a guy called Manders a couple of shows ago. He's a big American indie star, and he paid a lot of money for me to come in and just for me to get better. So I think the best thing is he's so giving. So
the new people are important to make sure that the wrestling scene continues. the Welsh wrestling scene at the moment is at an all-time high. It's the best it's ever been, and we've got so many talented wrestlers coming through. We need to make sure that chain continues. We need to make sure that the wrestling scene is the best scene in Britain, because I think the Welsh wrestling scene right now is fantastic. I feel like it's a really escape from reality. It's a really alternative career for people who want to give this a go, and I just think it's so important for me and for fans of professional wrestling to make wrestling accessible for everyone by being on shows and making sure that the shows are of the highest quality possible, and to make sure that we encourage new wrestlers to start training and make sure that the chain continues.
Leading up to the match today, there's a lot of thoughts going through my head. Am I still good enough to main event a New Wave show? Because there's a lot of great wrestlers who's coming up through the ranks now. Am I going to get hurt? And how physical is this match going to be?
Now tonight is a big one. It's a big one because not only is it Brendan's last 1 year, I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this either, so this could very well be the last singles match that we have. From me personally, I had Brendan's first match. I had Brendan's first ever match, and I had a hand in coaching Brendan to be a wrestler. I've also known Brendan outside of wrestling. He's one of my best friends. So I've known Brendan since we were legitimately kids. We used to build ring bases, back like wrestling rings in my garden, on the side of roads, up mountains, and us together with our childhood friends would just wrestle. We would just wrestle. And to go from then to now, wrestling has never been this good in Wales.
And the competitors to the ring, please.
The crowd, the energy, the feeling of being there, telling stories.
Looking at like the show that's going on today is kind of like looking into what I want my future to be.
Okay, you've got to be tough. And when I say tough, I don't mean you've got to be manly or that you can't cry. I just mean you have to get up when you fall down.
And I'm also worried about a gas tank too, because I train really hard, but the biggest fear I have in wrestling in general, and I'm sure every wrestler will say the same thing, is getting blown up.
Through a battle, test of wits, test of strength.
You have to love this, and you have to love all the crap that comes with it. You have to love the late nights, the long nights, the long late nights, the long late lonely nights.
And wrestling well ball might teach them the chance of being blown up is quite significant. Blown up means when you get to the point of tiredness where you can't function, you can't breathe. There's nothing more scary than that.
The way that a good guy overcomes a bad guy.
I think seeing wrestlers that I've had a hand in training or I've had a hand in helping have that fantastic match.
That's the last time you're ever going to see Brendan in a New Wave ring!
That's the thing that gets me more than anyone else.
You just got to have a connection to the people, man. If you can be the most jacked guy, you can be the strongest guy, you can be the guy or girl with the best gear, but if the crowd don't care about you, so I think you need to be tough, you need to be willing to suffer, and you've got to have a connection with the crowd.
Thank you guys. So honestly, it's not about me, it's about you. Thank you.
And it's a testament to Brendan and the New Wave shows that everyone is just using the platform that Brendan has given everyone and taking it and ran. And now the level just keeps on creeping up. And then Brendan's bringing in people from Ireland, top talent in the country, like your Connor Mills, your Michael Oku, Luke Jacobs, all being brought in and working with the younger talent that we have. But then you also have homegrown talent, which are doing worldwide things. You've got Danny Luna, who's a TNA contracted wrestler. Myself, worked with WWE for a number of years. Danny Jones worked with WWE for a number of years. Mark Andrews, who comes in and does bits. Flash Morgan Webster, who was also one of our close mates, WWE. But then the boys have been to Japan, America, all around the world, and then they're bringing back that expertise and that knowledge and sharing it with the younger talent, and then that's then pushing them forward. You got your Nico Angelos, your Jay Joshua's, who Jay Joshua's just having banger matches with New Japan Ishii, right? You've got Leon Cage, Shane Hooker, these young talents who are just absolutely incredible and just doing incredible things. Like they're putting on matches that could be the main event anywhere in the world, and that's cliche to say, but it is true.
You know, ask anyone else in the locker room, they'll say the same thing. Brendan's created something fantastic here.
And it just shows how, even though New Wave is out here in Wales, and I know they've got the other ones, but for Brendan specifically in Wales, he can impact so many different careers in one go. Because without his push and without his drive for me, it's opened up so many doors since then. Just taking on it as advice and just pushing forwards with my career.
Generally, the matches here is somebody experienced going against a new up-and-coming wrestler, so it's given them those opportunities. So yeah, it's always an amazing experience for the new guys and the more experienced wrestlers as well.
The experience was everything I've always wanted to do. Literally a dream come true. I couldn't think of anything better. Having friends there, having the support that I've had from New Wave themselves and everyone involved, it's been a dream come true.
If you're interested in wrestling and you want to give it a go, I went into it with the mindset of, I love wrestling, and if I don't love doing the wrestling, that's fine. I still have a love for it. But I went and I just fell in love with it as soon as I went there. So I'd say definitely give it a try. New Wave is the best place to go and train. Absolutely adore it.
And that was just something that I just really loved. I loved the showmanship of it. I loved the characters. I loved the story. That's something that I'm really passionate about.
Couldn't go any better. The crowd seemed to like it, so I can't. Trainer versus student. He was my trainer. He's the one who made me love wrestling. He's the one who taught me how to be a good professional wrestler. And for me, the story here was passing the torch. A guy who could have taught me what he wanted, and he got to a point where he could, and he couldn't take it on anymore, and he trusted me to take it on. And I didn't just get past the torch. I took the torch and I made it bigger and better. And the story tonight was the passing of the torch. The story tonight was, you know, when one chapter ends, another one opens. And the next chapter for me now, here, is to make sure this scene, look at it, it's Backstage is thriving, everyone's laughing, everyone's having a good time. Making sure professional wrestling is fun, and making sure professional wrestling and new wave wrestling is the place to be.
And one last message for the community.
We are going nowhere. We're going to get bigger, we're going to get better, and as long as you're supporting us, we will always continue to produce the next level of professional wrestling in Wales. Come and support us.